Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a hot minute since I posted a video and I do apologise for that. Life has just been one thing after another, but I'll bore you with the details some other time. Today is just about creating, and I still have some 12 by 12 papers left over, so I thought I'd try and utilise them and try to use the majority of a pack. I think I've done that with this. So this is my little folio. Like I say, just using 12 by 12 cardstock. I did also utilise a 4 by 6 or C6 envelope for this front piece here. This is just my prototype, so there's no decoration on it or anything like that. I just wanted to show you what the final piece would kind of look like structure wise. So this is the cover. Obviously we've got this envelope on the front, and then we've got the flap that opens like so. On the back we have got a rather large pocket here, so that could be filled up with lots of different things. Let's just open this up and take you inside. So this is the envelope. I did obviously cover the inside of the envelope and trimmed off the triangular part. On second thoughts, I don't think I would do that again. Don't really like the way that it's turned out. Not too sure. And I would have obviously covered the top part as well just to finish it off, but where this was just a prototype, I thought there wasn't really much point. So we've got a nice little pocket on our very front page there. Then we flip it open this way, and I'll do it one side at a time because otherwise it will be too big for the screen. On this right hand side we have 2 pages, and then the base piece here. Like I say, this is just a prototype, so there's no pockets, there's no decoration, there's no nothing attached, so use your imagination. On the left hand side we have 3 pockets, all different sizes, just to store bits and pieces in. Then the central part has 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, 5 page, 6 page, and then we have a little pocket on the base here. So I am going to show you how to make this from scratch. Now, because this was my first video in a while, I knew that I wanted to kind of prepare and get everything ready before filming, because I just thought it'd just take me forever if I tried to sit here and do it all on camera. So what I've done is prepared all of the pages and papers as I need them, and I've trimmed them all down to the size that I need them. I've got some ephemera pieces here as well. So I will either upload all of the measurements and put them in a comment below the video or in the description, but I may also just add like a free download to Ko-fi where you can download and it will give you all the sizes that you need. But I'll hopefully be able to talk you through the majority of it here. So for the cover pieces, you obviously want 2 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock, and you want to cut them down so that they both measure 12 by 8. So the height of this is going to be 8 inches high, like so. Then you want to take one of your sheets and simply fold it in half. So we've got a 6 by 8 piece of cardstock here. Then this piece originally obviously started off as a 12 by 8, and all you want to do is just take your ruler, measure 7.5 inches, pop a little mark at the top of your page so you know where that is, and then fold this in to meet that line that you've just made. So that then gives you this folded piece. So I think that ends up being just over 8 by 8. So those are our 2 cover pieces, there and there. Now to attach them, all I done was I just grabbed my circle punch, which I don't have. Hold on one second. Voila. So just move this folded piece to the side. So this is going to be our main cover piece, and then this is going to be the back piece, which I turned into a pocket. So all I done was, just so that you knew that there was a pocket there, just popped a little half circle somewhere central, like so. So we now want to place this piece, so the 6x8 piece, we want to place down on our desk, and we want to glue all the way around. Hold on a sec, sorry. Okay, so we want glue along the top, this edge and the bottom. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Then you want to take your nearly 8x8 piece and simply place it on top, button up with that fold line there. So just make sure that we've got that in the correct place, and make sure that all of your edges are lined up perfectly straight. Don't want no wonky edges on this folio. So that is your front cover and your back pocket made. So you have your cover piece here and your pocket there. Now what I should have done was inked prior to gluing this down, but silly me, I forgot again. I do that quite often actually, so I'm just going to lift it up a little bit and I'll re-glue it after I've inked. Of course, you don't have to ink, you don't have to do anything that I do if you don't particularly want to, but the reason why I like to ink it is just because, especially where I'm using the same patterned paper, it gets lost in the pattern. So I just wanted to kind of make it a bit more known that there is a pocket there. When it's empty, you'll know that it's there. So I'll just place some glue, which my glue is running out, that's why it's going back and forth so many times. So yeah, we have our pocket on the back side now, and then our folded cover piece like so. Let's just move that out of the way. So the next step is to create our hinges for the pages for the two central sides and then this right hand page here. So all you want to do is cut strips of, you could do plain paper, or you could do what I do, and I've just used some similar cardstock from this paper pad, and you want to cut them into strips where they're 1 inch wide, and you have 2 that measure 5 inches like so, because they're going to go 1 there and 1 there, and then you have, I can't remember how many, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 that measure 7. So you want 7 inches by 1 inch and 5 inches by 1 inch. Then just take them to your scoreboard and score them in half, fold them all in half like so, and that's it. That's your binding for these little pages. So let's get crafting these. So what we want is essentially 2 pages to fold out from this page here. So you take your 2 pieces like this and you just glue these 2 pieces together, then glue that down. That creates your binding. It is so simple, and where I've used the corresponding cardstock, it's kind of decorated as well, so you don't have to worry about, like, if you're going to leave it to show, which I did on the prototype, it's not going to be too garishly obvious because it will kind of blend with the pattern. I do apologise if you can hear my Ruby bear snoring next to me. She I think she's okay, but she did throw up her dinner this morning, so I think she's just feeling a bit sorry for herself, and just catching up on some sleep, bless her. Nelly is as well asleep at the other side of Ruby, but she very rarely snores. Ruby is a big snorer, so I do apologise if you can hear her. So sorry, I was just gluing those 2 binding pieces together, so that now you have 3 flaps, and then you want to glue the base kind of centrally to the page, like so. So we'll just pop some glue. You could use double-sided sticky tape if you wanted for this. It would make it a lot quicker. It would dry a lot. Well, it wouldn't even dry, would it? It's instantly dry. But I do prefer to use glue for this kind of stuff. So making sure your fold lines are facing outwards, you just want to pop this onto the edge, and I just butt it up as close as possible to the very edge of my folio cover, making sure it's straight as well, that would help. And just press that down, make sure it's nice and secure, like so. And there, that's where we're now going to have our book pages come off of. So you're going to attach your pages to that piece. I like to get all of the binding pieces done first. When you do this, you might find it easier to do a section at a time, but I don't know, I just prefer to do it binding piece at a time. So I'll now move on to the central piece, and I will start with the top and the bottom, and I will literally, there's only going to be 1 page for the top and the bottom, so we only need the 1 piece stuck down centrally. So I'll just do that. You can of course measure where you're placing your binding pieces so that it's exactly central. Oh my goodness, this piece of paper is flying around like no one's business. Yeah, you can measure it, but you know me, I just like to eyeball it and line it up as best I can. I don't like to be ultra precise, so we'll just line them up as best we can, kind of flush to the edges of the cover, like so. So then we can have our page attached to this. And then what we done here, you want to repeat here and here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I've already obviously shown you how to do that here, so I'll just talk you through it one more time. So you literally just want to take 2 binding pieces, glue them together like so, and then glue both of those just to the edge, making sure that you have got enough room to fold your pieces over. So I'll go ahead and get that done. I should also point out that this this piece that I'm making here is obviously using double-sided 12 by 12 cardstock. If you don't have double-sided, you can use single-sided. I did do it myself, so I made this one and it was single-sided, but you have to cut out your cover pieces and then cover the base piece, if that makes sense. So you're doing double the work essentially, unless you want to leave it plain white. So obviously this was just a prototype, so this side was just left plain white, but really I would cut another piece and pop it over the top just so that it's decorative and matches. But yeah, that you can use single-sided, but it would probably work out to be double the work. But yeah, I thought I'd just mention that you can use it. Okay, so there we have it. We have all of our binding pieces glued down and in place. So the next step that I done was, I believe I put my pockets in on this flap here, but I think when I was doing my prep, I think I cut them too short, not wide enough. I wanted them so that they were 3.5 inches wide. Yeah, and that's 3 inches. So it should be 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So that's for the very bottom pocket. Then it should be 3.5 inches again by 5 inches. And then the last one is 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And that will create a tiered pocket. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get this and just punch some half circles in the top of these, and I am going to try and make sure that I get them all the same. I did on my previous prototype, I tried to put all 3 pieces of cardstock through this punch. It wasn't having any of it, and I think I've actually caught 2 here. Yeah, it doesn't like more than 1 piece, but I do need it to be a template, so it's going to have to suck it up and be a bit braver. Try not to get that. Nope, I did again. Just makes it more difficult. I don't understand why. Okay, so now we have our 3 pockets. Again, I should have inked them prior to the video, but I didn't, so I'm just going to go off and do that now. Okay, so that is all 3 of those pieces inked up, and I'm just now going to pop all pockets down. So we'll just glue the 3 edges to turn this into a pocket. Obviously mine are going to be very slim pockets, which isn't the look that I wanted, but I didn't want to have to sit and cut them all out again, so I'm just going with it. We embrace the mistakes. They're all called, what are they, happy accidents? I'm hoping this is going to turn out to be a happy one. And then we'll just put 3 lines of glue there, and then I'm going to just line that up with the bottom pocket here, like so. Just trying to make sure that it's nice and straight, and then the last piece will just sit on top to create our 3rd and final pocket. And there we go. And then we've got some nice little decorative pockets down the sides. So now we can move on to assembling our pages. So like I say, I have already cut out all of my pages that I need. So I have them here. I'm going to start with the pages on this far right, and you will need 2 sheets of paper or cardstock. One will measure 6 inches by 7 3/4. The other will measure 5 1/2 by 7 3/4. So then this is all just basically down to how you would like to see your pieces. So if you would like to have the bigger piece on the bottom and the larger piece on top, like so. Sorry if I do it the other way, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you've got this kind of different pattern, so you can tell that there's a page there, or you can hide the shorter one underneath and pop this larger one at the top, like so. I think I'm going to do it that I'll put the smaller piece on top and a larger on bottom, but just swap the patterns around so that it kind of looks like that. So we've got floral, and then, thanks Nelly, we've got floral and then the marble underneath, just to give it a bit of difference. So let's start with the bottom page first. So all we want to do, Nelly's coming back into her bed. Yes, so all we want to do is glue this piece the way we want it. So I want it with this marble facing up, and we just want to glue it to the central part of this binding. So this piece here, hope you can see that. It's this central piece here. You want to glue your page onto that. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Obviously you can do things like round corners, ink the edges of your pages. You can rip the pages rather than cut them smoothly. That would look really cool actually, to have ripped pages. I might have to make another one that just has ripped pages. I actually really like that idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that until now. So we'll just glue that piece, just making sure that this also folds over and doesn't get caught on your page, like so. Just give that a good flatten. Then take your second page. I wanted to have the flowers on show, and we'll attach it to the top flap like so. I do hope that I am making sense. I do feel like I haven't filmed a video in a couple of weeks, and I don't know, I just feel like a schoolgirl again who hasn't been at school for a couple of weeks, and I've missed out on so much and I'm really nervous to go back. I don't quite know how to explain it, but I just don't feel myself. I feel like a fraud. I don't know why. But I have been really looking forward to coming back and doing this video, so I do hope that you enjoy it. And hopefully we can all make some nice little folios. I love to see what people make. I'd love to see someone make a ripped page one. That one would be a cool one to see. So that is now our pages for the right hand side done and dusted. So I am just going to leave them as they are for now and move on to my centerpieces. So I start with my top and bottom. Now these measurements, you don't have to follow them precisely. You can do them any which way that you want. So I have cut the top flap to measure 6 by 7 inches, and the bottom flap, sorry, I've got it on my screen in front of me, measures 6 inches by 7.5 inches. But you can do this, you could do it as a little tiny flap or a larger flap. It really doesn't matter. You can even add in some shapes and like rip it, like I say, and make all sorts of pretty colours and pages. So this is going to fold like so and sit like that, and this piece is going to be on the very top, so when you open it, this is what you're going to see. So I want to make sure that it matches that piece there, which is why I've laid it that way. This piece is going to go on the bottom. I don't think it matters which side I have facing out, so I think I will just keep it as the 2 flowers, because it's going to go on the bottom anyway, so it'll be hidden by the time you get to it. So again, just place glue on the top of your flap like so, and place your page on top. Then just do the same for your bottom piece. Okay, now we can do our left and right of the central pieces. So these are, yes, so now we can move on to adding the left and right pages to the central panel. Doesn't matter which one you start with, also doesn't matter which way round, again apologies for Ruby snoring, which way round you do the measurements. As long as you're happy with the end results, it doesn't matter what you do. So I'm just going to start with my left hand side, sorry, not my left, my right hand side. So the right hand side pages I have done to measure 8 inches, so they both measure 8 inches high. Then we have one that measures 6.5 inches wide, and the other is 8 inches wide. So we've got 8 by 8 and 8 by 6.5 inches. And again, you can choose to have the smaller piece on top or on the bottom. I believe that the way that I'm going to do this is that this isn't going to be seen as you open it, so it's going to be kind of hidden under the left hand side pages. So what would I prefer to see? Would I prefer to see a nice big covered page like so? Then when we open it, we'll have that piece like that, which will then fold and reveal that piece, which will then reveal that piece. I'm thinking that's probably the best way. It doesn't really matter. You can do it any which way that you want. But I think this is what I'm going to go for. So I'll start with the bottom page and just glue it down to that center binding piece again, just like we did on the outside flap. making sure that all my edges line up because I don't want no pokey outs when we close the folio, and also just want to make sure that this still folds correctly and doesn't hit that page. And then I'm just going to glue this piece onto the top binding section. It's a very gloomy day today, so I apologise if the lighting isn't the best on my video. I will try to brighten it up when I edit, but we had a weather warning in place yesterday for Storm Claudia, I think her name was, or Claudia, I'm not sure. We had one rumble of thunder. I don't know if anyone had anything more than that. That is all we was blessed with. And we had a lot of rain yesterday throughout the day. Had to take the girls out in the rain. They both had their waterproof jackets on, as did I, because there is no way I was going to get myself soaking wet. Yeah, so it's a bit dark and dingy, and apparently it's supposed to stay like this all weekend. Temperatures haven't been that bad, to be honest. It's been quite mild. Usually by this time of year I'm wrapped up in layers upon layers upon layers, but I'm actually walking around in a t-shirt, and even going outside in a t-shirt. If I ever have to go into the garden, I'm walking out in a t-shirt, which is quite unheard of. And the heating keeps coming on and off. I keep turning it on and off because 1 minute I am a little bit chilly, and then the next I'm just really, really hot and I can't take it. My other half, he's one of those people that's always cold, so he hates it when I turn the heating off. But I just get so flustered when it's so hot. I don't know about anybody else. When it's like not like a weather hot, like when it's a fake hot, heating hot, I just can't handle it. So, Ruby, you are really snoring today, aren't you, darling? Her eye, bless her, her eye is getting a lot better. We was going back and forth to the vets every single week for an appointment and a checkup, and in the end I just said to him, this is getting ridiculous. I said, she hurt her eye whilst playing, and I've spent over £1,000 with you guys trying to get it to be okay again, and there's no sign of improvement. I really was not happy with them. But I got the head vet eventually, appointment with him, and he said, no, she is looking really, really good. It looks like it's healing. You can really see it's really bloodshot at the moment, so we was quite worried about that. But he said, no, totally fine, totally normal. The blood means that it's sending blood to the wounded area, and it's currently healing. So no more vet visits for my beautiful girl. And Nelly was as well spayed. I think I told you all, she was spayed a couple of weeks ago. You would not believe that she had an operation. She was running around like an absolute loony, like literally the day after her operation. And I don't know, I think it's changed, because back in the day it was always, don't let your dogs jump, don't take them out on a walk, don't let them lick the wound, you know, all these rules and regulations she had. And she had to wear it when I had Penny, which was 20 years ago. She had to wear the cone of shame. Nelly didn't. They said you can put it on if you want, but you don't have to. Just keep an eye on her, make sure she doesn't lick it. Well, she didn't lick it. She didn't even know it was there. She was quite happy, acting as normal, being a little terror, and she has been a terror ever since. Honestly, it's been an absolute nightmare. So as I've been chatting, I have just folded all of my edges and just made sure that they are completely glued down and folded in the correct places. So now we have our completed base folio journal. Oh, no we don't. I'm telling a massive lie. I wanted to put an envelope on the front, didn't I? It's currently holding all of my tags that I want to put inside. And yeah, I'm just going to attach it to the front of this this cover here, so that then this piece, when it is adhered down, will stick like so. That will go over the top, and then that will sit like that. Now I do like to get it into a position where it's kind of like quite even, central, but you can have it obviously over to one side, over to this side, totally up to you. It all depends on how you're going to decorate it, how you're going to use it, how you're going to close it as well, if you're going to use a ribbon. So definitely it's maker's choice, so whatever you feel comfortable doing. I find it easier to glue the inside piece, so let's just move this here. So I just like to decorate the inside of this envelope, and I do that with a pre-cut piece of paper, but none of them are the right size. Oh dear, what did I do there? So to decorate the inside piece of this envelope, all I do is just grab a piece of 12 by 12, just ignore the pencil marks there, and basically just cut around this outside envelope piece. So if I just flip this over, I can draw on this back side so that obviously I don't get any pencil marks on my piece that is going to show. And I'll just trace around the outside of this envelope like so, and then cut around that. There we go. Now I may need to just trim it down ever so slightly, just so that it kind of slides in a lot easier than that. So hold on a sec, let's get this straight first time and use our ruler and craft knife, shall we? I'll just trim off the excess piece there. Let's see if that slides in a bit easier for me. Yeah, I think so. Nice and simple, nice and easy. So then all I'm going to do is just pop some glue on here. Oh, actually no, what I wanted to do was actually get that fold line ready like so, just so that it, when I do glue it, it's easier to fold, because that line's already there. So that's like so. I'll pop some glue onto the back of this piece here. I don't go crazy with the glue because it's probably going to get pushed up as I'm pushing this inside of the envelope, so I don't go crazy with it. And I'm obviously going to put glue on the top flap as well, so it will be secure. But doing it so that it goes all the way inside of your envelope just makes the envelope a little bit more sturdier and feels more like the folio that's made out of card, rather than just like a flimsy piece of paper. So that's why I do like to cover the insides. And then I'm just going to glue the flap down and then just refold that envelope again like so, just to make sure that it is definitely stuck down and in its correct position. Now you're not going to see this part, so you don't have to trim this, but I've obviously cut it a bit wonky, so I am just going to trim it just so that I get the true shape of the envelope flap when we open this cover piece. So I'll just trim these pieces off. Like I say, you're not going to see them, so it's not totally necessary. Okay, so that is that done. Now we just want to cover obviously this piece that is going to be on show when we have our folio closed, and you can choose to decorate this as well. So what do we have here? I have some paper, some cardstock that kind of measures, yeah, perfect. So I think that's 6 by 4 approximately, or 4.5 by it's actually a bit bigger, so 4.5 by just over 6 inches, 6.25. So I'm going to use quite a plain piece so that when it's attached to the cover, obviously it's not design upon design, and it's a nice flat cover. And I'm just going to ink around the edges and then simply just glue onto the top of my envelope. Okay, so do we now want to decorate this piece, or do we want to leave it? I think I might actually leave it, and I might decorate it with like stickers and stuff. So I might just leave that plain. I was probably going to use one of these pieces to decorate it, but I'll keep that for something else. So now we just want to attach our envelope. So like I say, I just like to, so this left hand side is going to go on the top. So you will kind of want to, if you want to do it the way that I'm doing it, of course, you want to get it as central as possible. So that kind of looks central to me, a nice even amount top and bottom. And then I'm just going to open it up and place my hand on that flap so that I can open it up. Then keep this piece here. Sorry, I was just laughing at Ruby, who just had a very urgent itch. And then I'm going to glue this flap down to the larger, or the right hand side flap, like so. So I'm just basically just moving my hands each time just to make sure that I'm keeping the envelope in the place that I want it to be in. So now let's just double check that I haven't moved it, and I think that is pretty straight. I hope so. And then just give that a quick press down, make sure everything is where it should be. And there we have a completely finished folio. I love it, absolutely love it. So you've got a pocket on the front with your envelope, a pocket on the back, fold out pieces, and then you have your inside pages. Love it. Okay, so let's get on to like the decorating and the putting of stuff insides. So like I say, I have some tags and ephemera ready, and they were all made using the leftovers of the pages that I cut from the 12 by 12 sheets. So utilize them as much as you can. These are also pieces that were left over. I just trimmed them all down so that they were the same size roughly, and I thought I could use these as pockets, because when we open up our flappy pages like so, we can obviously see our piece that we bind it with. Now if you don't mind, you can leave that, and you can decorate over it. You can just put some, I don't know, some florally pieces. You could even just place a strip of paper along there and just be done with it like that. But I think I would like to turn the bottom of these pages into pockets, and obviously it then just again hides the binding strips. So what I think I will do is just place some of these on here. So obviously I'm going to have to trim these down to match. I just want to put basically a pocket thumb hole in all of them, but I want to make sure that I've got the right sizes first. So put them to the side, and then let's get this ready. Let's cut this down to size. So what size do we actually need it? 7 3/4. So let's trim this down. Where's my circle punch? Did the same as I did with the other pockets, and just pop a little semicircle kind of centrally, just so that you guys know that there is a pocket there. Okay, now I'm just going to ink my pockets, and let's just bring our folio back in. So if if we have this piece as a pocket here, like so, and I'll just glue that into place now. Okay, and then we'll do the same for this other page. We'll just place our pocket again over the flap, over that binding piece just there. Okay, so now we have essentially 2 completed pages. So on the front of these pages we have this beautiful decorated paper, and when we open the pages we then have a nice little pocket that's not quite dry just yet. And then we have decorated paper and another pocket. This is the base piece, obviously. I'm not too sure what I want to do with this yet. I don't know if I want to put another pocket or if I want to put some journaling space here. We'll save that bit to last and we'll come back to that. What I am going to do now is just very quickly go through the rest of the folio. So I don't think I'm going to put a pocket on this top piece, just purely because then when we stand it up, when we're using it and stuff, the bits and pieces are liable to fall out. So I'll come up with something else for that. But I'm going to put pockets on this piece. I'm not sure, maybe that piece, I'm not 100% sure, but definitely the very top ones, they will definitely have pockets on. But still deciding on the inside pages what I would like to do. And then again, just need to think how to cover that on the inside there. So let me do the pockets first and then I shall come back. Okay, I'm back. It took me a lot longer than I expected because I was so indecisive about what I wanted to do, and I think I was overcomplicating it. So I just went with the most simple answer. And this is what I am ending up with. So we have our envelope on the front, our fold out with some pockets. Then we can fold out this side to reveal a page here that you can do whatever you want with. A nice little pocket there. Another page you can do what you want with. And a pocket here. I haven't done anything on this piece just yet. Still undecided on what I'm going to use there. Then when we come to the central piece, I know I said I wasn't going to put a pocket here, but I couldn't think of what else to do, and I didn't want to just slap a whole piece of paper on it. So I thought, well, rather than putting the little tab punch here, I'll leave it like this so that it could just be a page and you can glue stuff over it, or you can use it as a pocket if you really wanted to. It's totally up to you. Then on each of these pages, again, I've just put pockets, pockets and a pocket. Then on this bottom piece here, I'm hoping you can see it, I've just done the same. I've just put a pocket, but it doesn't have to be. You can glue over it, do whatever you want. And then I used a completely contrasting piece of paper for the base, just to cover all of our binding strips. And again, this could be, I don't know whether to put a piece of ivory paper pad here, which is what I probably will do, and then that can be some journaling space. But for now, I want to move on to decorating it. It is getting really dark in this room, so I think what I'll do is I'll decorate it off screen and then come and show you exactly what it is that I've done to decorate it. The only things that I have ready to go are some tags that I cut out of this cardstock, obviously, all the same, and some decorative floral pieces that I'm going to glue onto them. But other than that, they're just quite plain. And then I'm going to make some other ephemera to go inside, but I'll show you absolutely everything I make as soon as I come back. Okay, so it's a couple of days later. I got kind of sidetracked over the weekend, so I just thought I'd come and finish it as and when I can. Now this is about, I don't know, 95% complete, but I wanted to show you nonetheless because I thought if I don't show it now, I never will. So this is what my cover looks like. I thought I'd just take it quite simple because obviously the inside is going to be jam-packed with all sorts of different stuff. So I just made this cute little bow using our bow maker. I haven't yet filled the back with any any tags, sorry, but obviously that is something that I will do later. So let's take a little guided tour around this folio. So when we open up, we've got our very first envelope, and I've just made some bog standard tags just to pop on the inside, and I've made a little journaling card also. All of these are using the same card, so it's all kind of intermingling and always matching. I was really happy with how that little journaling card there turned out. Could have put another little piece of coffee paper on that piece there, but you know, as and when you're using this, you can add and take things, so I wasn't too fussed. And I just added some stickers to decorate this. So that is that. Then when we open up over here, I put a couple of tags in each pocket, nothing fancy, literally just matching and coordinating tags, and then just added this cute little sentiment at the bottom. Over onto the right hand side, I have added this little journaling card that just folds down with a piece of coffee paper, so we've got a nice amount of journaling space throughout the whole of this folio. Then we open it up. I haven't to keep moving because it's huge. Again, I just made some really cute journaling cards. I've left some completely plain so that I can come back and decorate them at a later stage, or just use them as they are and put photos on them. I wanted a mixture of decorative pieces and plain pieces, so we've got those two in here like so. Then we have more journaling space here under this pretty little journal cover here, so we've just got some coffee paper in all different sizes all the way down like so. Then when we open this one up, I left this plain because I really wasn't 100% sure what to do with it, and I thought, well, maybe when you're actually using the folio, it might kind of spark some of your imagination to actually do something here, or you know, even just put a nice little photograph there. It doesn't particularly matter. So left that blank with some decoration down the side, and again just a couple of little tags using corresponding paper, and we'll just pop that over there. Then we come to our centerpiece, which is obviously where all of the magic happens. So this top flap, I actually left it quite plain because this side was decorated. I then didn't want to, I wanted to have something plain in the middle because we've got decoration here and we've got decoration here. So I just left this plain so that it didn't get too overcrowded with decorations. And I think I explained in the previous video, I just left this as a pocket, but it could just be a page and you could just stick something over the top. You don't have to use it as a pocket. Then I have made one of my little pockets here and added two more little journaling cards, just decorated with some stickers. Oh, I haven't actually finished that. I've got to put some backing card on there. So yeah, that's what I mean by 90% complete. So it's complete, but there's just like little bits and pieces that I've got to do to kind of make it 100%. But just stuck those together. Then we have the pockets over here that, again, I've just popped in some handmade tags. The idea is obviously that these would just get filled up as and when you're using them. Also made this cute little tag here. Again, not quite decorated just yet. I would like to add some decor to the tag itself and possibly to these little strips. This also opens up into a little journaling space. I'm going to put some coffee paper here, just like I've done with this over here, so that it can obviously be used as journaling space. Then when we open this up, we have another pocket over here that just has been stuffed with some ephemera, or tags rather. I just put a little decorative piece onto here. I didn't want to add another pocket at this stage, so I just put a little bit of decoration on this. The pocket is on the back side of that piece. Again, just some really cute tags. Nice sweet decoration on there also. Then we open up to reveal another couple of little tags, some nice decor on. Then I made this scrap pad on the very bottom flap here. I placed my sticker over all 3 layers of this coffee paper and then just trimmed where I needed to in order to lift it up and down. So yeah, lots of journaling space available there. And then I think I just left this all plain because, again, I just thought to myself, when I'm using it, I still want to have some creative freedom and I still want to be able to add things. So I've left the pockets quite plain so I can still add any memorabilia, photos, journaling cards, anything like that. And then I can still, if I wanted to, put coffee paper here and have a little flat pad that I can scribble my notes on. Or I can just decorate this with photos, just like a collage of photos of the girls, of the family, of the Christmas that we're going to have this year, obviously that's coming up. I could just use this as a Christmas folio. So the idea was that I would make it but expand on it as I use it. So that is our very interactive folio made from 12 by 12 sheets. I'm actually going to do a bit of a crafty shop later, and I was wondering, what do you guys use predominantly in your journaling? Do you use purely A4 digital downloads that you've printed yourself, or do you use things like this, 12 by 12 cardstocks, 8 by 8s, you know, that kind of thing? Let me know, because I like making these kind of things and I'd love to be able to make them in what you guys use the most. So please do let me know. Next week I have another similar project to this, but it's a bit Christmassy themed. So I shall be, once I finish this, moving on to that. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you can all make one of these little folios. I'd love to see one finished and maybe even in use. Maybe if I use this for my Christmas this year, I will come back and show you how I completely finished it to 100%. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this video up. Nellie's coming to say hello. Do not drink my tea. Do not drink my tea. Nellie, you're a teaaholic. What is wrong with you? Yes, okay. Right. I have to say goodbye to the people. Let me say goodbye. Okay, I'm gonna cut this short here and you can admire Nellie's ear. Thanks everyone. Speak soon. Bye.